The next step in building my shed is putting a roof on this round part of the building. Richard set this up so that these circles that he cut from the plywood to make this plate would make a 6-foot diameter circle, which is exactly what it is. But we also have the skin, and the skins have these bumps on them, and that adds up to about an extra 3/4 of an inch on either side. And that's kind of the depth between here and the top. So this is actually 6 feet 1.5 inches. The first thing that I've done in order to get this conical roof on is to put these rafters in to get the basic shape. The first two were cut like common rafters, just in the same way. This is one side of the first two, the other one is on the other side opposing it. And then the next step was to cut rafters at 90 degrees to those, and they are 3/4 of an inch shorter because they're 1/2 the width of the first one. You can see they butt into it, they're nailed through. And then the third thing to do is to cut these with beveled with 45s on the plumb cut. The plumb cut cuts down, and I had to put 45 so they would fit between there, and I mean 45-degree angles on each board. And that's the starting of the shape. The next thing I'm going to do is put bender board around here, all the way around, to make a fascia, and that's going to be important because I have to nail boards on here, and I have to take them across diagonally in order to maintain this cone shape. I can't just put boards flat on here because that would give it a it wouldn't be a cone, it would be, you know, a flat series of triangles, and I really want that coned shape. When I cut these, I thought I wanted them to hang back like this, but when you put the bender board around, it wants to go up. It won't follow this line around. So what I have to do now is I'm going to put plumb cuts. That is, I'm going to put a level on there and mark plumb. I'm going to cut it all the way around so that when I put the bender board around, it'll follow around. When I say bender board, I laid a piece down there on the floor so you can see that it bends around there. It's the kind of thing you would use in gardening, made out of redwood. I've got several of them soaking wet with weights in the center leaning against the house so that they'll be closer to the shape when I get ready. And I'm going to put several layers of them on there so I can build this out nice and thick, so I have something to nail in the boards that are going to run across and around. And I'm probably thinking that I'm going to get very thin veneer plywood, cut strips, and use that, go in one direction and cover it all, and then come back in the other direction, and then come back through. I'm going to try to get it about 3/4 of an inch thick. It's going to be a lot of nails, but I'm sure it'll be solid when it's done. I've actually done this on very large structures. This is a small diameter. I've done it on very large structures with 1/2 inch plywood and 8-foot strips around, and it's easy to get that to bend on a very large structure, but on the smaller one the bends are going to be kind of tight, and so I've got to get some very thin plywood. I'll work that out. I'm going to go to the lumberyard and see what they have. There's the view up from the bottom, and that's a pretty good start for the shape that we want. And let's walk out. And you can get an idea of what the little tower roof is going to look like. And I say I really like the old metal. It gives it a very old look, like it's been here before. And if you look down below, you can see the house has it on the as a wainscot all the way around the first floor of the house. Oh, it's a pile of tree branches there. I knocked off a bunch of dead ones that I could reach up there with the ladder. Um, Hopefully when the guy comes out, we have a tree in the back that has to come out. When he comes out to do that, I'll see if I can't get him to clean up this tree a little better. He's got the spikes and can climb. So the next step is to cut those plumb cuts on the rafter tails, the little bits of the rafter sticking out past the building, and then I will put the fascia on. And I hope to get some of that done this evening when it cools off. I just got home from work, but it's still in the sun and we're pretty warm today. I'm using 3.5-inch bender board, kind you'd use in your garden, to make that fascia on the turret there. I guess I'm going to call it a turret. That's kind of a tight bend. That's a 3-foot radius. And so when I get up in the morning for yesterday and today, I soak these boards and I kind of wedge them between the water table there on the house and the ground, soak them, and it's been kind of pre-stressing them. Some of them are more receptive to that than others, but it's going to help me make that bend.